Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 61!
Last time, right, I've heard people say they used to have these kind of kaatukoil,
Hidden temples.
so like the forest or some very
Ulu
places you will have, right? Even roadside also they will have, right?
Those shrines and all that.
But nowadays they don't have,
Singapore strict lah. Then, to have temples and all that, they must do it legally,
But have you encountered something like that and certain things went wrong? You're not supposed to explore but you went and explore.
Okay, explore and seen this kind of temples, have seen lah, but nothing wrong happened. But my uncle has shared one story with me, not in Singapore, in Malaysia, and something nearly happened to him terribly. Wake up call. Okay, this happened many years back lah. Okay, so now my uncle is a very respectable, very hardworking. He's a very good family man lah. But back then, right, notorious. Seriously, he was very naughty, notorious and all that lah. Everyone has a past, right? So that's when I asking him lah, how I'm sharing with you, how we are sharing with you all, right? So I was telling lah, hey, please lah, tell pay kada lah, tell ghost story lah, any ghost story. So he shared something which actually changed him for the better, actually, in a way. So he told that last time he and his group of friends traveled to Malaysia to this particular temple which he himself never tell us the name of the place and all that. So it was actually sort of like a gang meeting thingy lah. So certain gangs and all that, they have this kind of ritual practices. Be it the Chinese or the Indians lah. Malay, I'm not so sure. So there was one of those kind of things, and he went to this cemetery. So what he said was there's a lot of people, Malaysians and Singaporeans, Indians lah. Then he how he described to me was, at the entrance is so bright. There are people head counting who is coming in and all that. And as he entered into the cemetery, right, it became darker and darker and darker. So when he arrived at that spot where they have to do some prayers and all that, so he said that there were people going into trance. They were playing this Urmi Melon thing, all sorts of things, and then they had the goat sacrifice and all that in the cemetery. But what was shocking towards him was there was no photograph or idols of any Hindu god. There was no statue, nothing. So he was thinking, who are they cutting for? So he was looking for places like India, right? India or those kampung Malaysia, they have those small brick stone. They'll just put eyes, moustache, okay, Muniswarar Raya. They'll put eyes and then the tongue come out, oh, Kali. So he was looking for all those kind of thing, maybe a stone shape, or they just made out of sand or something. Nothing. But these goats were being cut, slaughtered in front of their eyes somehow. Because a normal slaughtering, right, will be an idol. They will take the huge arwal, which is like a parang. They will pray, they will chop off the head, bring. The slaughterhouse is inside somewhere. Whereas here, they were doing it there itself, on the spot, goat by goat. So he was a bit what's going on? So the other friends all telling, hey, don't chicken out now lah. Why you scared already? Then he, at that point of time, was a bit I don't want to lose face lah. Hey, what scared? Come now, let's go. Like that. Okay. So then from there, after the goats have been sacrificed, right? they were told to go to another place. Another place, huh? So while going to this other place, right, he said it took him about 15 to 20 minutes. It's quite a long journey, and he said the cemetery was huge. So the distance, so I don't know how many acres of land, no? So I was just listening to him, what he's saying and all that. So as he was walking through this tall grass and then this muddy pathway, he saw this dark Indian guy praying, chanting some mantras. He was holding on to a pail, and what seems like he was like sprinkling water like that lah. He thought sprinkling water lah. But as he looked closer, right, the guy was actually throwing something. My uncle said that he saw this guy was taking chunks of meat, raw meat, very bloody, and he was throwing up to the sky, towards the sky. But what was the strangest part was, whatever goes up should come down. Whatever this guy threw up didn't fall down. So my uncle kept looking up. So it's like very, like, I wouldn't say foggy, misty lah. As soon as the chunks of meat went up, right, he saw them vanishing, and none was falling down. So his senior, or like an elder lah to my uncle, the friend lah, say, hey, don't see all that, come, we have to go there. So they arrived at this next location lah. So according to my uncle, right, he thought this was going to be like a meeting. But it was not a meeting. Surprisingly, they were all grouped into like one cluster like that, asked to sit down on the floor, cross-legged and all that, pray. The so-called in charge of them said that we'll be putting garland on some, and those who have the garland on them, right, stand up and follow the priest. So my uncle at the point of time thought it was like, okay lah, so it's like some kind of promotion lah, you know, that kind of thing, you know, like, so he thought lah, he didn't know all this. So they were just praying lah, like that, praying and all that. So some of the people were getting the garlands. Right beside him, there was this person, and he received the garland. He got up and he went. Okay, the rest you all wait here. We'll settle something and we'll come back to you all. So my uncle and another friend, they didn't get the garland. So they were just chit-chatting there lah. So they went to one corner there, went to smoke. No, just chill lah. Suddenly that in charge of them say, okay, everything over, let's go back. So my uncle was like, okay, finish already, let's go back. So in that lorry they travelled to Malaysia. Once they cross checkpoint already, my uncle and his group of friends were telling, hey, what happened to those who were the garlands? So they were wondering what happened. They can't literally go to the police also to report, because those people went missing. Yeah, he couldn't, like, there was no trace of them, or there was like no one like so-called returned back to Singapore. So it was quite a creepy thing lah. So because missing without a trace, there's many missing people, no? But some people were right beside you and suddenly gone missing, right? People will be scared. So my uncle was like, don't know what to do, you know, he panicked big time. So to thank his lucky stars literally lah, he actually came out of this group in a peaceful manner. You know, are those like gangs and all that? When you're in the gang, it's difficult for you to come out. So to thank his lucky star, he actually like came out in a very peaceful manner lah. And the upsetting part is until now there's no updates or what happened to these people who went in with the garland lah. But now at an adult age, I've seen this kind of animal sacrifices, be it chicken or goat. They'll put a garland around the neck.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, so we don't know what actually happened. But what I'm praying to God, right, and I'm thanking God, right, lucky my uncle didn't receive the garland. And luckily he realized his wrongdoing by this incident. It was indeed a wake-up call.
Okay, so actually it was quite a creepy story. Yeah, because it's like, luckily, thank God, nothing happened to your uncle.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
those others lah.
His
So
friends.
all I just hope for the best is the ones went missing is safe and sound lah. Maybe lost contact already. I just trying to think that way also.
Yeah, so like joining this kind of groups or following people, just be careful because you may not know what's waiting for you.
Yes.
Yeah, so just be careful lah.
Especially your time is not right.
Yes.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, so if you been already in that kind of place, try to get out as soon as possible.
This kind of groups are not cool lah.
Okay, so we have come to the end of this episode.
Yep.
We'll catch you up with the next one. So until then, signing off, Varshan.
Anju,
Chaps.
chaps.